Welcome back to Spotlight. Yeah. I'm here. I'm in a good mood tonight. I don't know for what reason, but I'm here, and we had fun. I had fun before, but now this is a serious matter. I had to put on my serious face. Deputy, well, you're a big shot now.
Oh,
Deputy Social Development Officer. Deputy Social Development Officer. That's your title now.
Good evening, Mr. Smith. It's always a pleasure to
yes, my good
speak
sister,
with you.
my good sister Stacey Stowe James is here in the spotlight, and my good brother for years and years and years.
Don't tell him how long.
Don't tell him how long. Dr. Robert Starmray.
Blessings upon you.
Good to see you. Thank you very much, my brother. The Real Men Campaign.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's new. I mean, it kind of like a shoot or something I had before.
Yes.
But it's more. It seems like it's more in depth.
Yes.
Yes.
Some years ago, Cromwell, we received some bumper stickers.
Yes.
I brought some of them.
Of which you did
with
not give me.
They were distributed throughout the territory.
Yes.
Real men will never date minors. Good stepfathers, good fathers would never date a minor or never hurt their daughters. I am a real man. And we thought it necessary this year to look at our men within our community and denounce those negative images that we would always read about or hear about in the media when it comes to not protecting our children. And we thought we looked at the role of men in preventing child abuse and how can we play on this bumper sticker and play on promoting the things that our men within our community are doing positively within our community. So that's how we came up with the Real Men Campaign.
You're giving us positive images.
Yes.
Wow.
Instead of all those negative images which you read in the
Yeah,
media.
but
It's happening, but we want to look at the good things our guys are doing within our communities because they're doing a lot of good work, and we wanted to congratulate them for that. We reached out to some guys within our community, and here we are.
Yeah, because, you know, Stam,
Feel free.
Stam is, yeah.
The check doesn't get any bigger, what they call it.
The doctor, yeah. Still the same one. Yeah.
So we partnered with Gender Affairs, and with our partnership with Gender Affairs, not just social development partnered, but Mr. Wright in facilitating. They have the Men's Week coming up next week, and we thought it would have been a good collaboration for social development to collaborate with Gender Affairs and to promote our Real Men campaign around this time, as well as I think Mail is also collaborating with Gender Affairs with their Men's Week. And we thought this would be an ideal time to launch our video for the work that we did with these guys, as well as launch the posters. So we'll be having posters every week coming out for the rest of June. I'm gonna...
And maybe we could see some of the posters while you talk about it.
You have some of them.
There you go.
With this one, the Daddy and Me, we're encouraging for the entire month of June to ask dads. It doesn't just have to be dads, it could be godfathers, it could be uncles. Just post pictures with your son or daughter or loved one on the Facebook page. It's /Daddy and Me BVI and enter. So from June 1st to June 30th, persons can put their photos on there. The person who has the most likes will get a prize from Gender Affairs. They'll be monitoring the Instagram and the Facebook pages.
And tell us the Facebook page again.
It's /Daddy and Me BVI.
/Daddy and Me.
And all you have to do is post, and you'll automatically be entered.
Okay. And the most likes. So and that's so you take pictures of your activities.
Pictures of your activities with your
videos of your activities with your phone.
Yes.
And selfies and
anything you want to do. Anything you want to do
with
them, just put it on there.
/Daddy and Me.
/Daddy and Me BVI to enter.
That's that /Daddy and Me BVI.
Yes.
At the BVI pad.
Yes.
Yes.
On Instagram or on Facebook. Yes. Most likes, prize from Gender Affairs.
That's cool. So I'm glad to see the positive images of men coming forward.
Much needed.
You know, Stam and all that referring to you. We've been talking about this for a long time, and we've been talking about the images of men, especially black men in our community.
Most definitely.
And we know for a fact that the majority of the men in the community are good men.
Yes. So
We can agree.
The vast majority, but we always beloved the negative, always show the negative. So thank you, sister.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
So yes, we really wanted to
For giving us a plug.
Yes, to promote the positive role that men play within our territory.
Okay.
In the various capacities, and not just as fathers, we have mentors, good mentors. You don't only have to be a
We
dad.
still have the
have-
mentorship program.
we still have the mentorship program
still
within social
running.
development.
I was just asked-
We
just
have
asked about that.
uncles, brothers, godfathers. We have guys doing mentors, like I said before, doing positive things, and we wanted to, sit
How long
with
is the
them. We
campaign, how long is the
appreciate.
campaign going to run for?
Well, it's throughout the entire year. We launching a video with you tonight.
Okay.
You're a special guy for us. So we're launching a video with you tonight. Like I said, the posters will be coming out every week for the rest of the month of June. June is the month we celebrate our guys. It's Father's Day and all that good
Okay.
stuff. And so we wanted to collaborate with Gender Affairs, and we thought that this would be a good, an ideal time.
Let's take a look at the video
Okay.
and just see how it is. Are we ready with that?
Things like picking her up from school may seem small to you, but means the world to her. Real men love. He's always been there, from his first step to his jump shot, and he'll do his best to always be there. Real men support. A daddy isn't defined as a man who makes the child, but rather a man who extends his hand and time to raise his child. Real men care. The relationship between a dad and daughter is very simple. She will love her father and trust him completely, forever, because he sets the standard for any man to love her after. Real men spend time.
We can help prevent child abuse and neglect by strengthening families and communities. This message is brought to you by the Social Development Department.
That's really, really good.
Yeah, I love it.
That's really good. So we got a definition of what a real man should be. Because that was one of my questions, Storm and Stacey. How, what is a real man, and how do we teach our young boys to be real men? Because I think that's one of the challenges that we're having. And you can't behave like a man. As a matter of fact, I only could behave like a man because my father taught me how to behave like a man.
But
my
the question-
responsibilities and other things that I have to be a responsible man.
The question that you asked runs deeper than you even realize, and you're a pretty deep man yourself, but the question runs deeper than you realize, because one of the things we do in the man cave sessions, which we'll talk about in a little bit, the first question out my mouth is, how many real men do we have in the room? And every hand goes up because our image of ourselves is a real man. So the next question is, define a real man. Every hand goes down. And all of a sudden now you have a room full of men who a moment ago were real men, but when it comes to defining it, everybody's quiet. So how can you be something you can't define?
Yes.
And that is the challenge.
Yes.
When you became a man, quote, when I became a man, did anybody hand you a manual?
No.
Did anybody hand you a book that says that, yes, I believe the Bible, but does anybody hand you a book that says raise your children this way? All right? So it's not just theory, it's life practical.
Yeah.
And that's some of the things we talk about.
And this is what we need to do is to bring that information to the men in our community, to the whole community, so that a man could know what a man ought to be, and a woman could know what a man ought to be. And so that relationship builds respect, fosters respect.
Absolutely.
It's interesting that you would say that too, Cromwell, because one of the themes coming out of this whole campaign, we wanted to look at the cultural notions of what we think men should be. That masculinity of men having all these different women, or you know, alcohol abuse or even child abuse, men dating young girls. You know, we wanted to denounce those type of thought processes and say, you know, real men really, it's not about that. It's about being good fathers, good protectors, you know, looking out, good providers, looking out for your fellow men. So it's interesting to hear, you know, you guys talking about that same,
in your community.
Right, participating in your community, giving back, even if you're not a dad, you know, giving back, you know, to the things that are important to you. You want to, you know,
helping the younger men.
We've talked about that, people, you know, that we've had conversations about, you know, you just going on a basketball court, and while you're shooting with these guys, you're realizing, you know, some of the difficulties some of these young guys are having.
Yes.
And by you just going to play basketball, you're being a mentor because they lean on you now, they trust you. They would come to you if they have a problem. So coming out of, you know, those kind of thought processes that we came up with this idea and played on, you know, the stickers that we have.
Okay. So throughout the year, are you planning activities, workshops? How do we get the message out and the information into the minds of young men, what their role should be in the society? Because I know that you're also thinking of men being leaders in making strong families and thus making strong communities, because strong communities comes from strong families.
That's one of our themes, yes.
And both parents in the household and men in particular, as a provider, protector, person to the model for the men is certainly what we need. So what are we looking at going forward in terms of the information, the imagery, and so on?
I don't want to overshadow gender affairs. I know that we've had discussions with them on how we can continue to partner with them. I know that they have the subject matter for getting that stuff out there when it comes to gender issues. So we've talked about working more collaboratively with some things that they have in the works. Within Social Development Department, right now this year we're focusing on building capacity as it relates to our professionals inside social development. So we're looking at some trainings for our officers and extending those trainings to other professionals within the territory. But certainly, you know, we're here. If persons have questions, you know, we can answer whatever questions they might have, and as well as to sign them on to resources if we're not able to, within the territory, if we're not able to assist them directly.
You wanted to add something?
Yeah, in addition to which, at the Office of Gender Affairs, one of the things we've done for the last 5 years, and we're very proud of it, is what we call the Man Cave Sessions, Sessions. And these are a series of presentations to men only. And it's not that we are in any way discriminating, but if a group of men get together and there's one woman in the room, the dynamic changes. Certain things a man won't say or can't discuss, the dynamic changes, because now we're more worried about the image than the truth. So the Man Cave Sessions are the vision of Pastor John Gilbert out of St. Croix. And we got together and we're going to talk to men and men only about some of the things, because in the short time you've been here, some of the things you've said about being protector and provider. Suppose something happens to a man and he has some kind of disease or something, his ability to protect is changed. Suppose something happens to a man and his ability to earn is damaged. And most women today, let's face it, there are more women in the college than more men in the jails. It's just a sad fact of life. Your ability to provide, she might make much more money than you, and she might have land and house her family gave her. Are you still the man of that house? These are issues that need to be addressed, because it affects your self-esteem, and your self-esteem affects your conduct. And while I want to stress that while the men who are coming to present now, I'll list them in a moment, are unashamedly and unapologetically Christian, they're not Christians who have never sinned. And let me make that clear. All right, Pastor John Gilbert did 10 years in the federal penitentiary. I've had my own personal struggles, which more people know. They know more about that than I do. And we talk reality. You have pastors who have been high. All the stereotypes, the negative ones, we address from a truthful perspective. So if I may, Pastor John Gilbert is going to talk about under the topic, What the World Needs Now, both family and community. And I think we all can agree the household is hungry for a properly placed man. The community is hungry for a properly placed man.
So properly placed men.
Yeah, men, yeah, of course. Individually and collectively, you're right.
Yeah.
And that's what he'll be talking about. Pastor Devon Penn, local, will be talking about every little step you take, getting the most out of the journey. Even your slips and falls should teach you something. And they don't have to be the end of the journey.
Right.
Pastor William Dallas out of Baltimore will be talking about resolving the conflict, external and internal, because within us all there is a war, and you have to have the fight for self, the fight for spirituality, no matter what your belief system is, the fight for your family, the fight for your manhood. These are things the world is warring against you. You have to be able to win the fight. And I will have the pleasure of presenting on Failure Doesn't Have to Be Fatal, Overcome and Conquer. Yes, you can make mistakes, but if you want to get to point A, from point A to point B, how do you build that bridge? When you have a past that might include prison time, when you have a past that might include out-of-wedlock children, when you have a past that includes women and drugs and drink, when you have a past that includes failures at education, failures at job, all of these things, but every person in the Bible had failures in their background. Failure doesn't have to be fatal. So we will be presenting these things.
When is this happening?
I was just going to tell you. That was my next thing, and I don't want to take my sister's
No, you're
time.
fine. Go right ahead. Go right
We
ahead.
will be here. We've been all over the Caribbean. We take this around 4 times a year. We've been in St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. Lucia, and in the British Virgin Islands. And we're blessed, and I say blessed, to be able to come back. Because so often you have stuff and people say, okay, thank you for coming. They give you a certificate. They don't really want to see you again. But some of the departments we've been at, we're honored to be coming back to. And we start on the 12th of June under the theme, Healthy Body, Healthy Minds, Keeping the Balance. Monday the 12th, we will be at the Customs Department from 10 to 12. 1:30 to 3:30, we will be at the Immigration Department, talking to men only. On Tuesday, we'll be at the Fire Department, and this is return engagement. We look forward to them. We had a spirited session last time with Brother Zebulon McLean and the boys. We look forward to going back. At 1:30 to 3:30, we'll be at People's Hospital, and this also is a return engagement. On Wednesday, the 14th, we'll be at the Virgin Gorda Flats Building Admin Complex, talking to the Virgin Gorda male officers. And the beauty of this is we're going to be spending the night from 6 to 8. The general public in Virgin Gorda is invited to come on out, hear the presentations, and then we're going to set up the domino tables. And last time we were there, the talks after the presentation were deeper than some of the presentation talks. So we'll be overnighting in Virgin Gorda. On Thursday, we'll be at the Waste Management Department, the Shed Long Bush Parkwood Pond, and at 10:30, a return on the Friday will be at Agriculture. So we're trying to put together on the Thursday night something for anybody who missed. We're trying to set something up, and we, of course, will let you know. So we look forward to all of that.
And this date, again, is from the...
From the 12th to the 18th, but I gave you of June, yes, that week.
That's next week.
That's next
Yes,
week,
yes.
right. And it's all in collaboration with Gender
Affairs
I
and
guess I know that Ms. Delplesh wanted to be here tonight to represent Gender, but she's not feeling well, so I apologize for her. But I know that, you know, you talked about the male-dominated workplaces, but I think they're also having something on June 16th as well, Mr. Smith, at Bamboo Shea, and they're asking persons to come out, all the guys. It will be, again, a male-dominated event, and they're asking, they're going to be catering to all the guys. They have specials, drink specials. I think I'm seeing it, $2. And the music will be provided by a DJ.
Okay.
So they're
and
asking.
if you're going to have the event at Bamboo Shea for the guys, you got to have women there.
Okay, I'll touch bases with you. I'm just the deliverer of the message.
But I'm dancing with you. So yes, right, exactly. We are in agreement.
You guys are
We're in agreement. Here's my our friend from long time who would agree, but he's right.
I'm just a messenger, so I'm just getting the information out there.
Either bringing their wives or
somebody.
Okay.
That be some female.
But the poster says it's all about the fellows social.
Yeah, all about the fellows.
This is a man's world, but it wouldn't be nothing.
Without a woman or girl.
All right. Amen.
All right.
From King James himself.
Yeah, exactly. He was King James.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's cool. That sounds like fun. In our communities, though, we have a lot of young people.
This is true.
15, 13, 12, 20s, and so on. They're not getting this message. A lot of them don't watch television. A lot of them don't have televisions. A lot of them, don't even know that these things exist. And that's a challenge that I'm having. How do we reach those young people? Because it seems to me that those young people are the young people that get involved in the antisocial behavior. And a lot of times we do things, and I often say we have the honor societies that have these training modules for the bright kids. And you teach them all kinds of things about life and the spirit and self-esteem and choosing careers and all these things that's available to them for the bright kids. But the young, it's not that these kids are
just
not
have
so
interest
bright.
in a different area.
They just are not in those environments to learn those things. We had a seminar, a workshop the other day with PAHO where we talked about poverty as a factor in denying access. And how do we bridge that gap? And I'm sort of like trying to figure out how social development, the role that social development needs to play in getting to those young people who are at risk to become the criminals, to become the abusers, not just to be abusers of young girls or each other, but substance abusers, the ones that will perhaps will never get married, the ones that will probably end up in jail, the ones that will do harm to the society. We create them and then we lock them up. Instead of spending the money like Jesse Jackson, or brother Jesse Jackson would say, before.
Investing before.
Investing before and not after. How are they going to get this message that y'all have now?
Well, our contribution, one of my contribution to that discussion would be to go where they are. We have to meet them where they are at. We can't expect to, sit in our offices. We have to meet them wherever they are. So if they're playing ball, if they're on a corner, wherever they are meeting with each other, where they're hanging out. Yes. We have to go where they are. We have to find out what their interests are and get interested. I have boys. I don't have any girls. I've got daughters that I love, but I have boys, and sometimes there's a disconnect even for me. So I, as a parent, I need to connect with them and find out what their interest is and get interested, and sometimes it's about bridging that gap, and getting on the same bandwagon with where they are and finding out what their interest is and, getting involved that way.
Before it even gets to social development or that various agencies, because I'm not picking on her, before it even gets to the church, before it even gets to the level of organization, I truly believe it begins on an individual level. When I say that, we have to begin to preach with our lives, all right? Before I can go to a guy on the corner or a guy on the basketball court or even a guy in the prison and begin to say, this is the way you should be. It's not enough to tell a man he's a sinner. Something has to be done to show him how to be saved. And I'm not talking religious, I'm talking in general.
Yes.
There has to be a way for us to preach with that. If you see your father beat your mother, if you see it on a more subtle level, if he never touches her, but he breaks her down verbally, and he's never home. If you're suffering and you see your father splashing on expensive cologne and going out on the weekend while you struggling for food, his life is preaching to you. And you have to begin, before it begins with social development.
That's what you're saying, that's the last stop.
But
Yeah.
you see, this is where we continue to have the problem.
Absolutely.
Because our expectations of the home is way, way too high. Because we're expecting children who have children to teach children what they don't know. And,
I agree with that.
And when we say, oh yeah, the children need to be trained in their homes. The children can't be trained in their home because the people in their homes don't know how to train them. So it's got to be where, and I agree with you, that you preach by example, because you know if you go on the basketball court, you can't go on the basketball court to hold a meeting.
But absolutely.
You understand? You have to go on
You're
the
taking up
basketball
time.
court to play
basketball.
When a conflict comes up,
How do you deal with that conflict?
when they see you solve the conflict in a certain way, they then know that, well, there's another way to solve that conflict. You ain't even have to say, you know, I mean, listen, it's just a game. You ain't got to do that. You don't have to say that. You know, you just say, all right, okay, your ball, you know, and end the argument. Because it's not that important. And then,
It's not worth
then
fighting
they begin
over.
to say, well, okay, it's your ball because it's not that important. And then you have not said a word.
But exactly.
You understand?
That's
But if you're
my
not
point.
there as a man, as a woman, as a community leader, as a social worker, as a minister, you know, how do our children learn these things? And if they grow up in households, as you say, where the father's going out in the night looking for women, and the mother is going out looking for men, and they are about the fingernails and about the hairstyles and about the clothes and the partying, how do the children learn?
What can we expect?
Yeah, and this is what
So I guess I'm hearing you guys saying that it's the non-verbal messages.
It's
exactly
more
the
than
modeling.
Yes, it is. That's a good word,
The
modeling.
teaching
behaviors
is
that-
in the modeling.
Right.
And that's what's good about what you're doing, because you're holding up models. But you see, those models are on television.
Right.
You know, but
Some
when,
people aren't gonna get
when the model is done right there, down in the street, hanging out on the corner, when the model is in the court, when the model is in the party, or you know, when the model is where, what did Jesus say? Go into the
Highways and byways.
and byways.
Yeah, Jesus used to hang out with all the
They talked
prostitutes
about
and
him. Yeah, they talked about
and
him.
and the wine bibbers, and he hang out in the
Yes,
clubs, and, you know, and
They talked about him for
drinking,
that.
and he talking, he rapping to you about stuff, you know.
It's necessary.
Yeah. So
Let me give you a little example, and it's just a quick one. When I go to the prison and I walk around, the juveniles I'm talking about, first time I was up there, like, yo, give me some money. I just say, wait a minute, son, stop. Number one, you don't know who you're talking to. You didn't introduce yourself. You don't know who I am, what I'm about. It's just you see me up here on a mission, and it's, yo, give me some money. What's your name? Who your people? Let's talk. Where you from? Why you asking me for money and there are no stores up here? Where you spending it on? Letting them know I'm not stupid, this, that, and the other. And over time, the conversation has changed. And this is not somebody I've preached to. This is not somebody I've taught anything, just by being there.
the interaction.
Over time, when he talks to me now, and a bunch of them, I don't think they're still up there, it's a different way
Different
of
conversation,
talking.
yeah.
I didn't yell at you, I didn't berate you, I didn't put you down and say, you better learn some manners before you speak to me. Come here, let's talk about this.
And he's seen you consistently.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming.
And that's right.
consistent.
That's right. Yeah, you have to. You
have to be
have
consistent.
to become one of the boys, but on a different level.
On a different level, yes, to let them know.
So you got to be that model, but not condescending, not being superior.
Exactly. Not in judgment either.
Yeah, not in judgment.
'Cause
Yeah.
you don't know why the man is the way he is.
You don't know what the experiences they had.
And
So you need to
secondly-
be able to identify.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there will always
Not
be that
be dumb,
disconnect.
so
Yeah, you got to build that trust. You got to build that confidence. You got to let them know. Listen, you know, I'm not better than you.
Absolutely.
You know,
We can't be afraid to
we
show
had-
our scars.
Yeah,
now.
we
'Cause the
we had
scars
this-
still
we had
speak
this
to
together.
people,
We
yeah.
had this together. Yeah. Anyhow, we run the family to
It's all good.
No, you're fine.
We
We're
get we get to the time kind of thing, right? But so you, I mean, what I haven't asked you any questions.
Yes, you did.
I did.
Yes, we've been talking, we've been having conversations. That's
Yeah,
right.
you-
What do
Questions
you
you
need to
want?
know? What do you need to know about the campaign that I have not asked you? Messages that
Well, the
going out?
messages are going out. We launched tonight with you.
Yes.
So the video will be played on JTV and or other local media channel. The posters will be up and around town. They're going to be, we're going to launch one every week. That's one here
Yes.
with a daddy and his
Yes.
daughter. And they have the positive audio messages to go along with them. And, so we just want to, denounce, all those negative images we have of our men in our community
And bring the positive.
and bring the
one.
positive ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we've all at 10 o'clock
Wow. Already?
already. Yeah.
That's why you got to make the most use of the time you've been given, because you
Yes.
never know when it'll end.
So support Gender Affairs and the efforts. Continue to support us and our efforts. And, we're always happy to come and conversate with you. So please invite us back soon.
Well, just like I just told the guy, all I guess before me, right? I don't have any bureaucracy. I don't need to know your
I can vouch for that.
And all of that stuff.
Nah.
You've
Just
never
say,
been that way.
come.
Have I refused to have you on the show?
Never.
Right? You refuse to come on the show.
I refuse to come often.
He's speaking singular.
I've been here. Come on now. Be fair to me.
Okay, we take you. Oh, so I get
We
this,
gotta
I
go.
get this thing.
Yes.
But when I'm here,
Yes, and
I'm
you've always
here,
been.
and I love doing this.
All
I
right.
love having you on. I love bringing this information to the community. And so use me up.
All right, great.
All
We
right
will.
now.
Thank you, Sam, for coming with us.
Not a
Yes,
problem,
thank
love.
you,
It's
thank
it's
you,
my
and,
pleasure.
looking forward to those events that's coming up. Those sound like some really great events. And come back when we got more time and talk about some of the social issues that we need to deal with. Because I think we need to start perhaps looking at social development from a different perspective, as a social creator, as opposed to a social mitigator.
Okay.
Let's
Let's have a conversation about that.
Yeah, we need to have a conversation.
Sounds interesting.
Because
I
a
know
social
what you have to say.
mitigator is reactive. So you're reacting to the social ills in the community. A social creator is creating
Solutions.
conditions in the community to prevent the social ills.
Well, we started on that road, but maybe we
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
tap into your resources, and because
So
we have
yeah.
prevention programs within there.
Yeah,
so
you do. Yeah.
So
we
we'll
need to-
hear
we
from
need
you
to
and
emphasize more of that.
more of that. Okay, before we let's go.
Before we get thrown out the air.
Yes.
Thank you for coming by. It's
Thank you
good
for
to see
having
you,
me.
and much success with the
Yes, man. God bless.
with the Real Men campaign.
Thank
and
you.
looking forward to seeing all the messages on television and coming back and talking about it. Let's not just have the messages on television, but let's start talking about it. And
All right.
perhaps
And then maybe I'll invite one of the guys to come back with us.
right, and do some things in the community,
Right.
You gotta come on Umoja. We could go live on Facebook on Umoja. And,
Oh, really? You can
yeah,
do that now?
Go live, yeah, we go live on Facebook on Umoja.
That's an
and get-
invitation, sis,
Yeah.
just in
and get
case you
things
lost
going.
it. Yes.
Yeah, listen,
I'm
You
there.
said you were
there.
invited, so
I'm sorry.
you've
I'm
been
there.
you've been
I'm there.
invited. That's
I
an
ain't studying.
official
I ain't studying. I've been talking to you all for years. thanks again.
No problem, man. God bless you. God strengthen you.
Yes, we gotta go. Next week we have Gen Y Factor kids coming on to talk about the upcoming event, the finalists. So that's gonna be exciting next week. And of course, the Spotlight is seen live here on JTV on Tuesdays, and we broadcast on Sundays at 2:30. You can view Spotlight on demand at jtvlive.net, or you can go on my Facebook page, Spotlight, facebook.com/SpotlightBVI. I always have all the spotlights up there, and I'll have this one up by tomorrow, so that persons who didn't get a chance to see it tonight will be able to see it on the Facebook page tomorrow. Check us out, to make suggestions on topics and people that you want to see on the show. We'll be happy to accommodate you. I'm Adrianka reminding you that when the spotlight is on, you see the facts. Peace and blessings.
Spotlight is brought to you by CCTBVI Life Unlimited.
and the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, the official Bank of Paradise.